Mine, he rasped against her throat, voice ragged, every ounce of his iron control in ruins. Lila felt his full weight sink her deeper into the cool linen sheets, felt the frantic drum of his heart against her ribs, like it was trying to reach hers and never let go. Rhys Valderrama, the man who could silence a room with one look, the shadow king of Manila's underworld, trembling in her arms because she'd cracked him wide open. She threaded her fingers through his dark hair, still catching her breath. Was that a thank you or a confession? He lifted his head, and for the first time she saw it, raw, unguarded needs staring back at her. Both, he whispered. No one's ever made me forget who I am, not like this. 4 months ago, Lila Santos had never even heard his name. 4 months ago, she was just a broke barista/baker scraping by in Manila, chasing a dream that felt farther away every day. 4 months ago, she took a shortcut down the wrong street at the wrong hour, and her whole life tilted. Before we dive deeper, if you're new here, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. You seriously don't want to miss how wild this gets. Drop a like if you're already invested, and comment Shadow King if you're ready for the rest of this roller coaster. Let's rewind to the night everything started. The rain hammered Manila that evening, turning the streets into rivers of neon and exhaust. Lila slipped out the back of the cafe after closing, arms full of day-old pastries the owner let her take home. Her feet hurt, her bank account hurt more, and her pride was taking the hardest hits. This wasn't the plan. The plan was her own little bakery, glass cases full of her pandazzle variations and silky yema cakes, her name in pretty script above the door. Instead, she was steaming milk for strangers, while her work visa clock ticked down. She cut through the side street behind the market because it shaved 10 minutes off the walk. Mistake number 1. A matte black SUV idled halfway down the alley, doors open. 2 men in dark jackets were dragging a third toward the back seat. The third guy was bleeding, begging in rapid Tagalog, voice cracking with fear. Lila stopped dead. One of the jackets glanced up. Their eyes locked. Then a face appeared at the tinted rear window, sharp jaw, cold stare, absolute authority. He looked at her. She couldn't look away. The moment stretched, thick and dangerous. Then he tilted his head, almost curious, before the window rose and the SUV glided away. Lila ran the rest of the way home, heart slamming against her ribs. She double-bolted the door, pushed a chair under the knob, and didn't sleep. By morning, she'd nearly convinced herself it was nothing. She stress-baked ensaimadas until her tiny apartment smelled like butter and coconut, hands shaking as she twisted the dough. The knock came at 6:30 a.m. She froze, clutching a rolling pin like a weapon. "Who is it?" "Miss Santos." The voice was calm, polite, terrifying. "We're here to bring you to a meeting. I don't have meetings at 6:30. You do now." She thought about screaming, thought about the police. In the end, she opened the door because waiting felt worse. 2 men in crisp suits waited in the hallway, professional, expressionless, unstoppable. They escorted her downtown to a tower of glass and steel that screamed money. Valderrama Holdings. Top floor, private elevator, the kind of view that made the city look owned. The office was huge, minimalist, cold. Behind a desk the size of her entire kitchen sat the man from the window, Rhys Valderrama. He didn't look up from his tablet when she walked in. An older man in a neat suit stood nearby, watching her with quiet assessment. "You saw something you shouldn't have," Rhys said finally, voice low, still not looking at her. Lila clutched the paper bag in her hands. She'd somehow kept hold of the ensaimadas through the whole ordeal. Stress habit. "I don't know what I saw. Everyone in Manila knows not to look too long." "I'm not from Manila." The words slipped out sharper than she meant. "I'm from Cebu, and I have zero clue who you are. So if you're planning to disappear me, can we hurry? I have dough rising." Silence. Then he finally met her eyes. Something flickered there, surprise, maybe amusement. The older man cleared his throat. "She's clean, sir. No ties, no record. Just a baker on a work visa. No threat." "Hey," Lila muttered. Rhys studied her a long beat. His gaze dropped to the bag. "What's that?" "Ensaimadas. I stress-baked." "You brought pastries to a potential execution." "I didn't plan the kidnapping." His mouth twitched, the tiniest crack in the stone. "My executive assistant retires next month. You'll take her place." Lila blinked. Excuse me. You want to stay in the country. This gives you a legal reason. I'm a baker, not an assistant. You were a baker. Now you're whatever I decide. He leaned forward, eyes pinning her in place. Accept and you keep your life. Refuse, we'll have a less pleasant conversation. It wasn't a choice, but Lila lifted her chin anyway. Fine, but I don't fetch coffee. We'll see. The first weeks were brutal. Mr. Rhys trained her like a drill sergeant, schedules color-coded, meetings timed to the minute, coffee at exactly 7:15 a.m. and 3:00 p.m., 72 degrees, no hotter. He demands order, Mr. Rhys explained quietly one afternoon. Chaos took his parents. Car bomb 10 years ago. He was 24 when he took over. He controls everything because losing control costs lives. Lila watched through the glass as Rhys handled boardrooms full of men who looked ready to sell their souls for a nod from him. He never raised his voice. He never needed to. She started noticing the small things. How he remembered the security guard's sick kid. How he quietly paid medical bills no one knew about. How his jaw tightened when certain names were mentioned. He was dangerous. Everyone whispered it. But dangerous men didn't usually know the janitor's wife just had surgery. By week 3, she'd stopped flinching when he looked at her. By week 4, she started pushing back. You're 2:00 canceled, she said, setting his coffee down exactly on the coaster. Canceled or persuaded to cancel. Does it matter? It matters if I send flowers or a warning. Flowers, his daughter just had a baby. He nodded. Send the usual. Add something soft for the newborn. You want me to choose baby gifts now? You have taste. Those ensemadas were exceptional. She stared. You ate them. Had them tested first, then devoured them. He glanced up, waist not. Something warm and ridiculous bloomed in her chest. I'll handle the gift. She was almost out the door when he spoke again, casual, eyes already back on his screen. The ube in those, where'd you source it? Small farm in Quezon. Old woman sells at the weekend market. He nodded, thank you. Next morning, a professional-grade oven appeared in her apartment. No card, she knew who sent it. Week 5 brought the first real fracture. She stayed late finishing reports. The building was quiet, city lights sparkling below. She heard the cough from his office, deep, rough, suppressed. He was still there, of course. Sleeves rolled up, tie loosened, looking exhausted and feverish. Go home, she said from the doorway. Work to do. You have a fever. It'll pass. So does arrogance, usually into hospital beds. She crossed her arms. When did you last eat? Silence. She left, came back 40 minutes later with Sinigang from the 24-hour Carinderia downstairs. Medicine and 0 patience. Eat, medicate, sleep, not optional. He stared at the takeaway container like it might explode. What is this? Someone caring. Don't get used to it. She walked out before he could argue. Next day the container was empty. Medicine packet in the trash. And a second oven, this one in matte black, waited in her apartment. She laughed until her eyes watered. Then she baked him an ube cheesecake. We're picking up steam, loves. If this is hitting you in the feels, smash that like button. Comment ube cheesecake if you think she's already catching feelings. And subscribe if you haven't. Join us so you never miss an update. She brought the cheesecake with his afternoon coffee. He looked better, but still carried the weight of empires. What's this? Ube cheesecake. Thank you for not dying present. I wasn't dying. Your immune system begged to differ. He took a bite, slow, careful. Then his eyes changed. Something soft and ancient flickered through. My mother used to make ube halia, he said quietly, before everything. The wall slammed back up almost instantly. You're dismissed. She left the rest of the slices in the break room. They vanished in under an hour. The gala was Mr. Rhys's final event. A gown arrived at her apartment days before, emerald silk that hugged every curve, simple but stunning. No note, she wore it. The venue dripped wealth, chandeliers, champagne, Manila's elite circling like sharks. Lila felt every stare, every whisper about the foreign-looking assistant on Valderrama's arm. Rhys arrived late, black tux sharp enough to cut glass. His eyes found hers across the room, and something hot flared low in her stomach. He crossed to her, expression unreadable. "You came. Was it optional?" "Everything is optional. Some choices just cost more." Before she could reply, old money pulled him away. She nursed champagne at the edge until Victor Loxon appeared. Handsome, smug, predatory. "Valderrama's new toy," he drawled, eyes raking over her. "The rumors didn't prepare me." "Back off. Just curious what the Shadow King sees in a little provincial baker." He stepped closer, besides the obvious. "Remove your hand." He laughed, fingers brushing her wrist. "Cute. Does he know you have teeth?" "He will if you don't let go. Now." The voice behind Loxon was quiet, lethal. Loxon paled, turned. Rhys stood there, hands in pockets, face calm, eyes arctic. "Just chatting," Loxon stammered. 2 seconds. The hand vanished. Loxon melted into the crowd. Rhys turned to her, fury banked but burning. "Did he hurt you?" "No." "Did he touch you?" "Barely." His jaw flexed. "I was handling it." "I know. But you don't have to, not alone." He offered his arm. She took it. His hand hovered at the small of her back all night, never quite touching, but close enough to feel the heat. The ride home was quiet. Manila blurred past. "You're furious," she said. "Not furious, something worse." He stared out the window. "Loxon's family has hated mine for decades. He came at you to get to me." "It worked." He turned. "I haven't felt real rage in years. I trained it out. Rage is sloppy, but watching him touch you." He stopped. "I wanted to end him, not for business, just because he put hands on what's mine." "I'm not yours." "No," his voice was heavy. "You're not." The car stopped. Neither moved. "Lila." First time he'd ever said her name. It shivered through her. "I don't know how to do this." "Do what?" "Feel something that isn't strategy." She reached for his hand. He flinched but let her take it. "When's the last time someone touched you without wanting something?" Silence. She guided his palm to her cheek. His fingers shook. "I'm not scared of you. That might make you insane. Or brave." She leaned in and kissed him, soft, testing. He froze, then broke. The kiss turned hungry, desperate, all the control he'd worn like armor gone. He pulled her across the seat, hands in her hair, like he couldn't get close enough. When they pulled apart, breathing ragged, foreheads together. "Lila," he breathed, "I don't know gentle." "Then let me teach you." The next days were stolen moments. Brushes of fingers over files, lingering looks, his hand on her lower back when no one watched. Mr. Reyes noticed on his last day. "Be careful, Mija. He's never let anyone close. He'll push you away thinking it's protection. Decide if you're strong enough to stay anyway." 3 nights later, the ambush came. Rhys's convoy hit on the way back from a port meeting. Lila was in the office when the call came. Gunfire, explosion, chaos. The weight nearly killed her. When he finally walked in, suit torn, blood on his face, guards flanking him, she couldn't breathe. "I'm fine," he told the room, but his eyes found hers and lied. She followed him into his office, closed the door. He stood at the window, shoulders rigid. "Don't come closer." "Why?" "Because if you touch me right now, I'll fall apart." She wrapped her arms around him from behind anyway, cheek against his back. He shattered. A broken sound tore out of him. His hands gripped her forearms like she was his lifeline. "You almost died." "I didn't." "That's not the point. Does anyone even care if you live or die? Or do they just wait to carve up what's left?" He turned, eyes wet. "Would you care?" "Yes, I'd break. And I hate that you've become everything when I never planned to let you in." He kissed her, slow, reverent, like memorizing. "Come home with me. Please, I don't want to be alone." His penthouse was stunning but empty, cold marble, no photos, no warmth. He led her past it all to the kitchen. "What are you doing?" "Cooking for you." "You cook?" "No, but I watched YouTube." An hour later, the kitchen looked like war. He stared at a pot of something vaguely adobe-related with betrayal. The video lied. Lila laughed till tears came. This feared man had tried to make her favorite comfort food because she'd mentioned missing her Lola's version once. "Move, let me rescue it." She fixed it, teaching him as she went. He stood behind her, arms around her waist, chin on her shoulder. "Sorry it's not perfect." "It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be you trying." He turned her, eyes soft. No one's ever wanted the trying. Maybe no one's ever seen past the shadow. He kissed her again, deeper. Hands slid down her hips, pulling her close. The stove clicked off, forgotten. "Lila, we don't have to." I want you, but I'm not good at letting go." "Then let me catch you." She led him to the bedroom. City lights glittered below like fallen stars. He stood uncertain, powerful, feared, nervous. She unbuttoned his torn shirt slowly. Scars crossed his chest, old, pale, stories he never told. She kissed one over his heart. "You survived." "I always survive." "Time to live." She guided him to the bed. He lay back, watching her like she might vanish. "Tell me what you need." "I don't know how to need." "Then let me show you." It was slow, careful, reverent. He touched her like something sacred. When they finally joined, he gasped, broken, undone, losing himself far too soon. After, he couldn't look at her. "I'm sorry, I lasted." "Hey," she cupped his face. "You let go with me. That's the most beautiful thing anyone's ever given me." His eyes searched hers. "Beautiful. You live in control every second. Trusting me enough to lose it, that's everything." Something shifted in him. Wonder, terror, hope. "I think I'm falling in love with you." "I'm already there." They made love again, slower, learning. We're almost at the end. Loves, don't miss it. Subscribe now, like this video, comment whose heart you're on. Let's finish this. The next weeks were golden. Nights teaching him to cook, laughter echoing in the cold penthouse, warmth seeping in. But threats came. Photos on his desk, her entering his building, leaving at dawn, kissing him in the car. "This was a mistake," he said, voice ice. "Don't you dare. They'll use you to break me." "So your plan is to break us first?" "To keep you breathing." He slid an envelope across the desk. "Ticket home. Money to start her bakery in Cebu." "You think I want your money?" "I want you safe." "And what do you want for you?" "I don't get happy, not in this life." "Then rewrite the rules." She took his hands. "You deserve love, Rhys. You deserve someone who stays." "They'll come for you." "Then fight beside me, not without me." He crumbled into her arms. "I don't know how to love and protect at once. We'll learn together." He laughed, watery and perfect. Partners. "You think I'd let the shadow king burn adobo for me and walk away?" "I love you. I don't know how to do it right, but I love you." "I love you too, even when you're an overprotective fool." That afternoon, he called his inner circle. "Lila Santos is no longer just my assistant. She's my partner, my life. Threaten her and you threaten me. Every resource, every alliance, her safety is non-negotiable." Silence, then agreement. After alone, he took her hands. "I've never wanted anything just for me, only power, survival, but I want you. I want mornings burning toast together, nights falling asleep to your breathing. I want a life." "Then let's build it." 8 months later, the penthouse felt like home. Warm light, photos everywhere, her cookbooks spilling across shelves. The kitchen smelled constantly of butter and pandan. Rhys walked in late, tie loose, following the scent of something sweet. "Rough day." "Better now." He wrapped arms around her from behind as she decorated a cake. "What's the occasion?" 8 months, since you almost removed a man's hand for touching me." "I was subtle." You said you'd make him disappear creatively. Details. She turned, laughing. He looked lighter, shadows softer, smile easier. I have something for you. Another oven. Different. He pulled out a small box. Her breath caught. I know it's fast, but I've never been surer. I want forever learning how to love you right. Marry me. Tears spilled. Yes, yes, you impossible, terrifying, adobe-burning man. Yes. He lifted her, spinning her through their kitchen, rings sliding onto her finger. I love you, more than I knew I could. I love you too, even when you still can't boil water. Improving. Distracted water. They kissed, laughing, city lights glittering below. Outside, the world was still dangerous. Threats still lingered. But inside, wrapped in each other, they'd built something stronger. The shadow had found his light, and she'd found her home. And that, my loves, is the end of Shadow and Sweetness. If this story melted you, hit like, subscribe for more heart-racing romance, comment your favorite moment. Was it the failed adobo, the car confession, or the ring in the kitchen? Share this with your romance bestie, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, stay sweet.